In this video, I'm going to give a brief explanation of a systematic layout planning method. The intention of this video is to serve as an introduction to the designing of an app for this method. Let's assume that in a layout design, we have the next information, and we have in this table 10 departments and the required space for each of these departments in quadratic meters. To simplify the space, we can use a unit concept. If the unit were to be 24 square meters, then we would have these units for each department. I'm using 24 square meters because the smallest department is lockers and it has 24 square meters. We should use a unit that is useful to simplify the number of units. To simplify even more, we must round these units to the upper number. And we will have this new representation of the space needed for each department. For example, lockers is no longer 24 square meters. Well, it is 24 square meters, but it's represented just as one unit. If we represent the total of units, we will have this kind of a space. This is a representation. This is not the real space. This is a model of the terrain in which we will build this layout. Now, between this department, we can have three types of functional relations. We have relations type 1. They are organizational and or control. Relation type 2 that are flux and or process, and relation type 3 that are ambiental relationships. There are also closeness relations. Relation type A, it must be close, wall to wall. The departments or the areas must be wall to wall in the layout. The relation type E should be close, no more than 2 units of distance. It can be closer, but no more than 2 units of distance. And the relation type X that must be far away, as many units of distance as possible. The relation between functional and closeness relationship is, if we have functional relations, there's a C missing over there. If we have functional relations 1 and 2, then it has a closeness relations type A. If we have 1, 2, and 3, it has a closeness relation type E. And if only it has functional relation number 3, it has a closeness relations type X. Information could be summarized as shown in this table, where in the upper part of the table we have the functional relations. In the lower part of the table we have the closeness relationships. The cells, the empty cells, means that there is no important relation between these two areas or departments. Considering that we can use the color green for relation type A, the color blue for relation type E, and the color red for relation type X, we will have this kind of diagram. This diagram is going to be useful in the design of the layout that we are later going to show. But we can see the same information as in the table, but in a diagram form. From either the diagram or the table, we can conclude that we have 28 relationships to comply. To begin our layout design, we have this information. Departments, the name of the department, the square meters, the correspondent units, and the number of important relations. There's an R missing over there. For this number of important relations, we can count in this diagram the number of important relations that it has. For example, the waiting room is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 7 relations. The lockers just has one, and it's an X relation. And now we will calculate an index by multiplying the number of units times the number of relations, and we have this index, this last column, where it's shown the index. Finally, we are using this index to define the order in what we are going to design our layout. This shows that the first department in terms of importance is going to be production 2, because it has the upper index, that it's 336. Then we are going to place, we are going to put in the layout production 1, because it has rank number 2. Then the final product warehouse, and so on. But let's go to this design of layout. First department that we're going to put in the layout is production 2. It has 48 units. We colored 48 cells, 48 units in the layout. Now we place the department which it has most important relationships. It's all of these departments are the ones that has important relations with production number 2. These important relations are relations type A, type E, and type X. And we have this layout up until this moment. Now we place the next department in the rank, that is office space, and we verify with which department it has important relations, and we change a little bit the layout. Now we place the next department in the rank, that it's a quality control lab. I forgot to tell that every department has a color as shown on the table in the lower part of the slide. Now, and finally, the last department in the rank, that it's lockers. The part that I'm not showing here, it's a very important one, that it's what's the percentage of complying of this layout. This layout, I didn't show it, but it has 83% of comply with the relations. And it's very important to tell that, because it tells us if we have a good or bad layout. Everything greater than 80% we consider as a good layout. So this is how we are going to design a layout. This is the input for the design of an app that can comply with this method.